This is Tim Albright with AVNation at InfoComm 2017 with Mike Fencil from Leon Speakers. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Tim. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I enjoy going to the Leon speaker booth because you guys have some of the most unique applications for speakers. They're great speakers. They're good looking. If you go on your website, you show the folks up in Michigan making them, right? It's really great. And one thing that you guys have done, you started out being primarily a residential speaker company.
That's right.
Over the last 10 years or so, you have started coming to InfoComm. So, the question I ask most people, why are you here?
Well, if you're asking why do we get into commercial business?
Just why, not just that, but why are you at InfoComm?
Well, we're at InfoComm because we really think that this is a great opportunity for us to showcase our new products and some of the products that we've been putting out there for years to a really wide audience. So you have end users, you have integrators, you have consultants, you have all sorts of specifiers and designers who are looking for either new products to implement or new technology that's out there. And they would come to see what Leon's doing because they know that we're an innovator in the audio space.
All right, well, let's talk about the innovation. You have a couple new lines of speakers to talk about.
We do.
One is your UX line.
That's right.
Talk about that for a second.
So the UX line is built on pre-existing speaker models. So the Horizon is an under or over mount speaker, the Profile is a side mount speaker, and then our Horizon Interactive that a lot of people are familiar with is a speaker that's over or under mounted with a camera housing. So we looked at all of those different models, and what we wanted to do was look at how we could improve performance and decrease the depth of the speaker.
Okay.
So that's not usually two things you pair together. You think if I'm decreasing the size of a speaker, then I'm decreasing my performance, but actually it's...
Which is why people get speaker bars in the first place.
That's right. That's right. So we wanted to improve performance, and what we were able to do with one of our partners is we were able to actually design woofers and tweeters that would allow us to fit these upgraded drivers into smaller spaces and allow us to then reduce the cabinet space, so that as displays get thinner, we're able to match that much easier.
And how were you able to do? How were you able to shrink that down? Was it with DSP? Was it with something physical?
Yeah, so there's a lot of design that went behind that, and so we had our engineering team work with the actual woofer and tweeter manufacturer. Yeah. And so they looked at all the science of it, and they determined that we could actually increase the size of the voice coil while still reducing the size of the basket that it sits in. And so I don't know all the specifics of the design behind it, but what I know we were able to do was very impressive, and the outcome is increased performance just as we had planned.
All right, you have a couple more lines you wanted to highlight? We
do. Actually, the one that's really important and very impressive is we've always looked at ways to increase the usage of the soundbar in commercial spaces. First, we began integrating simply just the idea of bringing a soundbar into a commercial space. The second thing was to include the camera. So any video conferencing room, you could showcase our speaker with space for your PTZ camera. Yeah. Well, as rooms have changed and now you have more huddle rooms and collaboration spaces, what they're looking for is a more stripped down version of that technology so that it serves their purposes over a 500 or 1,000 rooms, something easily rolled out. And so with that came the smaller cameras. So you look at the Logitech C930, you look at the Cisco SX10, you look at all these different manufacturers who are placing small cameras out there today for huddle rooms. Where are we going to put that? And so we were finding that a lot of our end users actually had a very difficult time placing that camera and keeping it where they wanted it and keeping hands off of it. So we started looking at ways to incorporate that into the design of our soundbar, and what we actually found is we had a new door open for us. What that was is that the soundbar itself, we don't need the entirety of that space to hold the audio or to create the right amount of acoustical space for our drivers to perform. We only needed a portion of that. So what that meant is the left and right side of that speaker, a portion could be allocated towards the actual drivers themselves, and then we could chamber it off and we could create space internally to store other things, not just the camera. So that was really a breakthrough for us, because what ended up happening was we realized now you could take gear that was living behind the display, which was very difficult to get to, and also looked, in a lot of cases, was very visually disruptive because it would create clutter behind the display if you were looking from the side. Now you could place that gear inside of the soundbar as storage space. So very unique, very different, and so we patented that product, and it's actually patent pending currently. And we've really looked at that as something that's going to be the future of in-room integration for these smaller spaces.
You've given integrators something actually that they've been, at least to me, in talking with them about a place to hide things.
That's right.
A place to place some of these smaller units that, because technology, we all know this, technology gets smaller and smaller, and you're able to do more things with smaller boxes.
That's right.
The question is where to put those boxes.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
And it's not just that, Tim, because what we also found is that the integrators were having a difficult time getting to these things. So being able to move it to the front of the display or under the display on the front of the wall now gives them access to those key components that they might want to get to, as opposed to sending 2 or 4 guys out on site to take down a 98-inch panel or a 70-inch panel. Now they can literally have access to it right there.
Right there. All right, very good. If somebody's watching this and they want to sell Leon speakers, or they want to get a hold of a pair, how do they do that?
So the best way to do that is by contacting us directly. So you can find us on the web at leoncommercialsound.com. You can also go to our parent website, which is Leon Speakers, and then look up the commercial division on there. There's a tab for that. And then you can also call us directly at our headquarters, which is in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
All right, very good. Thank you so much.
Really nice being here. Thank you.
Have a good InfoComm. My name is Tim Albright. For more information about us, you can go to avnation.tv.